is the untold truth of the Kennedy family curse, and if you live in America then you know all about the JFK assassination, but this whole thing goes a lot deeper than that. The Kennedy family has had a ton happen to them, and the so-called curse seems to still be lurking around even today. The curse seems to start with Joseph F. Kennedy, the father of the Kennedy family, who was actually an ambassador in the UK during World War II. But the curse really starts to happen after the eldest daughter, Rosemary, is lobotomized because the family is ashamed of the way she acts. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically when they go through your eye socket with a ice pick and hit the front of your brain to basically control the way you act and fix whatever so-called illness you may have. According to reports, she was barely numbed and was awake for the entire thing. The operation didn't go well, and she was basically diminished to the brain function of a 2-year-old. Shortly after that, Joseph P. Kennedy was killed in battle. He was a pilot and was flying a plane with a bomb when the bomb exploded and killed everyone on board. In 1948, the other sister, Kathleen Kennedy, was killed in another plane crash. She was flying over France. In 1955, Jackie's wife suffers her first miscarriage. And just a year later, she gives birth to a stillborn daughter. In 1961, the father of the Kennedy family suffers a massive stroke and basically leaves him completely unable to do anything. In 1963, JFK and Jackie continue their struggles trying to have children when their son, Patrick, dies just 2 days after being born. We're just breaking the surface here, so stick with me. Only a few months after their son dies, JFK is assassinated in Dallas. Just months later, Ted Kennedy is in a plane crash that kills 2 people, but he actually survives. This is the plane that he crashed in. In 1968, Robert Kennedy is assassinated in California, which is wild. To have 2 political assassinations from the exact same family, that is just very odd to me. Then in 1969, Ted Kennedy drives his car off a bridge, killing 2 people. This was a big deal at the time, and everyone was talking about it. In 1973, Edward Kennedy Jr. loses his leg to cancer at the age of only 12. That same year, Joseph Kennedy Jr., who is Robert Kennedy's son, gets in another car accident and leaves someone paralyzed. All in the same year, Jackie Kennedy's stepson, Alexander, is killed in another plane crash. I mean, how many plane crashes is this family going to have? In 1984, Robert's other son, David, dies from an overdose in Florida. And in 1994, Jackie Kennedy dies from a very short battle with cancer. In 1997, Robert Kennedy's other son, Michael, dies in a ski accident in Aspen, Colorado. And just when you're catching your breath thinking there could be no more, you're wrong. In 1999, JFK Jr., John F. Kennedy's son, dies in, yep, you guessed it, another plane crash into the Atlantic Ocean. In 2012, Robert Kennedy's ex-wife hangs herself. In 2019, the granddaughter of Robert Kennedy, Saoirse Kennedy, dies from an overdose at the age of only 23 years old. And in 2020, the other granddaughter of Robert Kennedy drowns with her 8-year-old son when their canoe flipped over into the water. What do you think about all this? Do you think there's actually a curse on the family? I feel like there's way too many tragedies in this family for it to just be a coincidence. Let me know what you think in the comments.